Hey everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and this is the second part of the video on the PICO 4 VR headset. And as you can see here, I'm just showing what this looks like on me, which looks really dorky with that center strap kind of over my head. But as you can see, this is how it fits. Now, this is a second video in a three-part series that I'm doing in collaboration with PICO on this headset review. And the first video I'll link to in the card above was basically just an unboxing, taking a look at the device, giving some overview of the specs and things like that. And then the second video here, I'm just going to show a little bit of the interface and how it works and some thoughts on just the usability of the headset when you're wearing it. And then the third video, a follow-up video, I will show a bunch of different gameplay from some of the games that you can get on the PICO store and some other thoughts around the actual usability and playability of it from an entertainment standpoint. Now, there is a ton of functionality in the operating system here, and as you can see, my super messy basement, I do apologize for that, but you can get into setting up your play boundary, right? So this is telling the device what the area is safe for you to operate in from a presence standpoint. So then it will kind of warn you as you're going out of that. There's a bunch of control settings for the controller, and this has Bluetooth, as I mentioned in the other video. You can change some of the adjustments for the interpupillary distance here to get it in focus and sharp for you. The wireless LAN settings. There's a lab tab that has a bunch of different stuff, like, hey, if you want to be in a recline mode and not have it, to watch a movie or something like that, you can change the refresh rate. You can change adaptive brightness. You can do a bunch of different things, and then there's a bunch of general settings as well. To the current version of the PICO operating system, you can manage your apps there, notifications, the virtual environment, template that it's using, a bunch of different stuff, right? So as you would expect, there are tons of controls for how this thing works, how much space is left, privacy settings, etc. But that's all accessed through the general settings menu, similar to any cell phone or anything like that. And then there's a bunch of stuff that kind of pops up off of this. It's not a persistent menu bar, but you can bring the menu bar into focus. And here, this just shows your library. So these are all the apps that you have on the device, and there's different sections. So apps, entertainment, you can update your apps. You can look at apps that you purchased that are not installed, right? So if you purchase them through the store and you have not yet installed them, they'll show up on the not installed tab. And this is so you'll see those, and you can view the details and install them from there. And these are a bunch of ones that are available to me from a review perspective to show. And some of these I am loading to do for the next video. But basically, kind of like an app store interface, you can watch a preview video on the games or whatever the applications are. You can then install them, download them, depending if it's a free game or it's something that you have to pay for, and then you can purchase it through the App Store process. And, typical App Store thing, you can read other people's reviews, ratings, all of that. So very rich interface for browsing, things to purchase or things to download and install on your device. And I've seen, just in my using this, it's very fluid. It's pretty responsive. Obviously depends on your internet connection, because this headset does require, obviously, connection. And yeah, it's overall really pretty cool. And overall, I've noticed a lot of games in the App Store kind of focus on maybe things like this one, like shooting or sports, fishing, exercise, a lot of Beat Saber like type games, music games where you're doing, playing along to the beat, you're doing things like that. There's some mystery games, kind of creepy sorts of things where you have to explore a world and, solve a mystery. There's like this Creed game for boxing and all of that. So that was one thing I was curious about when I first saw this. It's like, what is the variety of games that actually be available on this? Because Pico is new, at least in the United States. I mean, I know they have a pretty extensive footprint in the rest of the world and Europe and Asia and things like that. But I was curious how it would compare to some of the other popular VR headsets. The Sony PlayStation VR2, HTC Vive, MetaQuest, those sorts of things. And I'm really happy to say, like, there are lots of different games, lots of different experiences within the Pico ecosystem here that are just readily available and really fun to play, right? So again, you can explore these things, you can watch the previews, you can there's this whole explore tab as well, which shows you a bunch of different stuff, whether it's games you can get or videos you can watch, right? So you can do the whole 180 degree or 360 degree videos, that sort of thing. And again, so libraries, apps, the store, there's a friends component that, if you do have other folks that that have these headsets, and you can kind of go into a combined world to view and play games and do all kinds of stuff. Now, I don't have anybody else that I know that has this, so I'm pretty much just, doing this myself. So I don't really have a way to test the friends ability or that whole social aspect of this. But there's all kinds of things, right? So this DOVR, that's a additional media browser, kind of video viewer. And out of the box, this has just a bunch of different stuff available. And this one is one that has, a bunch of free content, but it also has some paid content. And after you watch a certain number of videos, they try to, make you purchase the premium, the premium version or whatever. But there's lots of interesting things you can do, right? So for instance, here I was just kind of watching this fireworks. And to be honest, with the way that the sound works on the headset, where it kind of is piped right into near where your ears are, and you really do feel like you're there, right? So I was using the controller to kind of zoom in and out of the video, but it's just sitting there in a dark room. It really kind of felt like I was at a fireworks show, right? You could feel the bass of the booms and the sounds. The audio was pretty good, and then the overall, even just streaming this is like a 2K resolution sort of thing. It was pretty clear, right? So pretty clear, not too laggy. From a streaming perspective, again, if you have good internet connection, and all of that. So there's all sorts of stuff like this. Immersive video, music things, all sorts of stuff. So that was really cool. And, again, the focus here just on the video content and just the navigation and usability of the device is really good. And, you can see, like, I'm pointing at the screen. There's that dot. When you have the controllers in your hand, you can see exactly where the controllers are pointing. There's force feedback on that. So as you click stuff or hover over things, the controllers kind of vibrate a little bit. So it gives you that tactile feel that you're immersed in something. You're not just kind of like pointing at stuff and not having any feedback. You can actually feel it in your hands, which is really pretty cool. And then this one was kind of some video about Kilimanjaro, but it's 360 degrees, right? So you can just turn around, you can look all over the place, and the resolution is really, really good, and you don't really even see many pixels, so it's really, really fun. Now it looks a little blurry here. I'm not really sure why. When I was doing it, it didn't seem blurry in my eyes. So this might be part of the screen recording, or however the screen, how that recording works. So I don't know, but overall, very cool from a video perspective. So now this is the native video player for the PICO, so it's called PICO Video. And then again, they have a lot of similar content for free. all kinds of interesting content, that's kind of free and basically streamable from this interface. And then you can change like the virtual environment that you're in. This one, you're kind of like in a living room, like quote unquote, sitting on a couch, looking around. And when you play it, the screen's kind of big in front of you, or it's immersive. It's a 360 degrees and that sort of thing. Now, I don't know, and I just noticed this now, like why on this video, like everything is slanted a little bit. It's almost like it's taking, like my head was crooked, but when I was actually in the interface, I didn't feel like it was that way. So again, maybe something with the video screen recorder, how it's calibrated for the thing. I mean, it looked normal when I was doing all of this, right? And then this is another video, 360 degrees, where you can go dive and go underwater and kind of explore the ocean here.
We are next to a cleaning station for some gentle giants.
Now this one in the PICO video is like a roller coaster ride, and I'll be honest, like I felt almost like I was gonna puke. I hate roller coasters, and this part right here, I mean, it played some Jedi mind tricks on me, and I felt like I was gonna vomit. So this is pretty cool. I mean, it's realistic from just I mean, if you had a little bit of air fan blowing on you, you might feel like this was an actual thing. It's funny how your mind kind of plays tricks on you with this type of stuff. So, there's things like this. There's just tons of content. Really fun, interesting entertainment here. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an additional level of detail on the PICO 4 headset. Like I said, if you'd watch my first video that does show the unboxing, and then this video that shows a little bit more of just the operation of it, kind of the interface, what you might expect when you're like in the device, looking at settings, starting apps, moving and navigating around. But you can see, like, at the beginning of this, I had that head strap that went over the top. That's detachable, and then you can just wear it normally, but you have to maybe cinch down the tightness of the strap a little bit, which when I did in subsequent use, it actually kind of made some indentations on my face. So it depends. You can wear that overhead strap and have it a little looser, or you can notch it down and tighter and then wear it without that strap. So all of the videos here and all these pictures show you wearing it without it. So that's just an option. Like I said, lots of cool stuff, lots of sports games, the PICO video, the 4K resolution, the spatial audio is awesome. I'm just really impressed with, just the package of this, the operating system, the performance of the headset, and what's available from a entertainment content perspective. It's super compelling. So, if you have any questions, go ahead and post those below. I'll be sure to answer. I'm going to do another video that gets more into a bunch of different examples of more games and things like that. So stay tuned for that. This is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.